We're going to show you how to set up the Miracle iQube. So here's the Miracle iQube. Here are the 1/4-inch audio jacks. On the back of the Miracle is your temperature strip. It's a thermal strip. Here's your power converter, barrel connector for power, power cord. I have a power strip for my power source. Here's the player with the clip that holds it, player audio connection, player USB charger. Here is the amplifier assembly. There's 3 amplifiers in here and 3/4-inch jacks. Here's the power switch, power jack, the speaker or external audio plug. On top we have the USB player charger and the audio connector here for your audio source. So the first thing you can do is, I've already put this player, the clip through on the back, all the way through this clip that holds it, because it's hard to do with one hand while I shoot the video. You can see that the bigger end, it's just slightly bigger, is on the bottom, because this will slide right in here if you angle it. And you just hold it down, push it straight, and kind of wedge it in there, and it'll go. And this is not super duper strong, but it'll hold your player on there. You can knock it off if you bump it, but for the most part, that'll just have a place your player can live. So I'm going to put this USB into that spot. This audio connector, I'm going to do the same. These are a little bit stiff. You want to make sure you press these really hard, because they can seem like they're connected and not. So just make sure you push that all the way down. And then we'll go ahead and get our 1/4-inch jacks here. 1/4-inch plugs into the jack. Those just slide in. Just slide in until you hear a click. Doesn't matter what spot. Now I'm just going to plug the power in. I've got a power connector goes into the converter box. Okay, the other end I'm putting into my power strip. You may just plug that into the wall. I'm just using the power strip to get power over here. This green light just indicates that this power converter is working. Come down to my barrel connector. I'll plug it into this power jack on the amplifier assembly. And that's all your connections. Now you just hit that power switch. The player responded because it's getting power. It shows you it's charging. I just hit that. I've got this repeating the setup track. There's a separate video on how to use this player, which I recommend strongly you look at so you can learn how to navigate and best use your programs. For just setting up, this is great because it shows me on maximum volume on the player. Turn that all the way up. You can see these lights. So none of these lights will always be in the green with setup if this is configured properly. If you use a different audio source than this player, this can go higher, and so you want to turn down that volume, whatever that source is. If it's a computer or a different kind of player, turn it down on that setup track so that you get only green lights. And that'll ensure that your audio feed doesn't distort and that it doesn't run too hot. So you have these lights right here. And you've got lights on the top of the Miracle. Red LEDs on the bottom as well. And so everything is running. What you may do periodically is just switch these audio jacks. Just alternate the position and recheck your lights. So I still have LEDs going. One of these audio connectors does the lights on the top, one does the bottom, and the one in the middle doesn't run lights. So that's why you'd want to just maybe alternate these to check periodically and make sure everything is, all those amplifiers are working. These 3 amplifiers are pretty rock solid, but it's a good thing to check every now and then just to make sure your equipment runs well. In terms of how hot you run this, there's a thermal strip right here, and having the green, the first one, first rectangle green, is perfect. If you go, if this second one starts to light up or it gets any further than that, you're going to risk some thermal shifting and maybe damaging your iQube. So if this is starting to climb in temperature, you need to either get a fan, turn your AC up, maybe even shut the unit down for a little bit, let it cool off. And then for it to run cooler, you need to just adjust that audio source and maybe turn your volume down a few clicks. And that'll just ensure that your amplifiers are not getting overworked and too hot. We've got this elevated just a bit to allow some thermal flow through. But depending on where you're at, if your ambient temperature is really warm or you don't have very good ventilation, you may need to run this a little bit lower. You know, you may set it up and then just turn down your volume for a little bit and make sure that your temperature strip always stays in this first quadrant or below. I'm just going to change this now. How to set up, I'm going to back up and go into the actual Miracle program. And then I'm just checking the repeat all is set. You can see the repeat all with those arrows, and I see that battery indicator flowing and the indicating it's charging. And so this is all set up and running. And as simple as that. If you have any questions or you have any issues, be sure and let us know, and we'll be happy to help. Wish you luck with your Miracle iQube.